everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and in this video we're going to be focusing on the final unboxing for Reichbusters, Projekt Vril from Mythic Games. Really excited. This one's called Not of This Earth. Don't expect to find anything from Earth inside this box. Can't wait to see what's inside. We're not going to bother flipping this over to the back and reading anything because there's just beautiful art back there. I want to see the components inside. I'm sure you do as well. So without further ado, let's dive in. First thing you're going to see when you open up the box is a gigantic cardboard sleeve here covering what likely is a whole bunch of miniatures underneath as well as some cards. So I'll go ahead and remove that. We'll check out what's underneath it first and then come back to the miniatures and cards after. Underneath that pile of miniatures is the Not of This Earth Rulebook, and you've got different languages in here. I'll focus on English, and we'll go ahead and put the cover of the box back on. We'll check out this rulebook as it's more than just a couple pages. The rulebook looks exactly like the front of the box. We're going to flip it over, take a look at the reference side. We've got ourselves environment tokens, items, and keywords. These are all going to be new things that you haven't seen inside the game before, all laid out here so you can easily reference them. That's always handy. We're going to head into the rulebook, which definitely feels like it's about 10 pages or more. We got components over here talking about the different map tiles in the game, new cards, the alien world mission tracker, the different types of tokens here along the middle, other cards, items as we saw in the back here, objective items like alien egg objectives. We've got miniatures here like a portal. That looked pretty cool. We've got a bunch of different and new varied enemies to go up against, aliens essentially, which is pretty awesome. Moving right along here, we've got, check these things out. Examples of some more of the miniatures in the box we'll see in a second. Some new keywords. You can see the font is definitely large enough. You're not going to have any trouble reading, and it's laid out very similar to the original rulebook. Talks about the alien world, how to set it up, line of sight, how these things work. Most likely differently than the original game or a variation of the original game. Enemy patrols, alien portals, how to use them, campaign missions. Again, the same designer note shows up in this rulebook as did the core to kind of highlight specific rules that are important. Some really, really nice artwork here that looks absolutely terrifying, but really well done. And then you dive right into your missions. So the first one's called Portal Combat. You got your card here, which we'll see later on when we unbox those cards. Special rules, mission complete, how to set that scenario up. And it'll continue onwards like that. A whole new world is a different mission. You've got mission number 3 here. Mission number 4. And then you've got your raid setup, which is awesome because that gives you that replayability to be able to play it over and over again and see what you run into. And that's going to do it for the rulebook. So in total, it didn't actually have a page count on the back of the book, but it does right here. 19 pages, so 20 if you include that last page. So a sizable one. All right, it's time to go through some punch boards in this expansion. There's certainly a number of those. You're going to see a bunch of different types of tiles. I'll just list off a number of them before we see them because I won't be able to specify which is which until I become more familiar, but you're going to find things like burrow corners, burrow crossroads, portal rooms, nests, burrow junctions, and burrow straits is what they call the 6 different types, and there's multiple of those different types. So here we go. We got some wonderful ominous tiles here. Again, think alien. You've definitely got that feeling here in terms of an alien nature to the tiles and what they look like. It's a very foreign and different place than what is normal to Earth. So we're going to go ahead, flip this over to the other side, take a look. Yes, you can see there's even some actual tiles that kind of tie into the tiles likely from the core set and things like that, like this one, for instance. And there's some really nice lighting effects again and some really kind of ominous and dark looking areas with nice red lights. So I do like that quite a bit. Again, you get right back to the grays. Now, what I don't know is if these tile sets are supposed to look like this on one side or not, or these are like draw decks. It could possibly be that these are the backs, and then you draw through them, and then whatever's on the opposite side is what you actually reveal. That could be what's going on here, because I am seeing similar artwork on the one side. But who knows? I guess I'll find out more as I play. You can see different areas here. There's 4 of them. They've all got different numbers to help you with laying things out for the missions. Here's the next one. There are some different changes in these ones as well. Flipping it over to the opposite side. The next sheet, there's actually quite a few sheets in this one, which was quite surprising how many there really was. And I'm noticing a lot of them are just straight up squares, which is interesting. But the artwork's really good. Like, if you get really close and look at it, it's pretty cool. They did a good job with the very small details on them. Looking quite nice indeed. Definitely will fit the mood of what is likely to be more of a terrifying situation than normal. And that does it for kind of the map tiles. Now we get into the tokens. So we've got the Alien World Mission Tracker across the top here. Obviously, entrance and exit right there. We've also got 20 environmental tokens, and those are all the ones that are flipped over and look like this. We've got, again, different language in there mixed as well. And we also have these alien items, which is pretty cool, among some other specific scenario tokens. I'll flip this over to the opposite side. So now you can see the differences across those environment tokens. So the different environment tokens are things like echoic chamber, loose ground, alien web, alien spores, and tunnel networks. Once the tiles are out of the way, we're now moving into the miniatures. So let's go ahead and dig into those. But first, we should probably check out some of these card packs. So again, similar to you've seen before in other unboxings for this game, different language packs here. So I won't be looking at this one. I'll be focusing on the English one. And then down below, we got some mini cards, again, in English and not English. So I will be focusing on the English one. So we'll take a look at these 2-pack cards first. So these are considered noise cards inside this box, and there's a number of them. This is what the backs look like. We'll flip it over. Quick move. What's that noise? Something stirs. Easy does it. Hide. Slipped. Get down this way. Damn it. Did you see that? Careful now. And finally, Cataclysm. Time to go through the cards that come inside this expansion. We got Zombie here to start us off. Scientist. The Vril Acolyte. That's pretty cool. So many really interesting and unique looking creatures, to say the least. Definitely feel free to pause the screen as I roll through these. And we're definitely going to see some of these miniatures up close in a second once I get through these cards. An alien handler. Probably don't want to see that individual. Oh, that's pretty cool. An elite version. The Vril Cannon Team. That looks horrifying. Oh, there you go. There's some of the big bosses would be my guess. Okay, so we get around to the mission here. Portal Combat. A whole new world. Number of missions there. Now we're getting into the raid objectives, if I'm not mistaken. Take me to your leader. Hive Mind. Get your bad medicine. Again, raid factions now on these ones. Hugo's Success, Portal Danger. These are the maps. And then we're really going through the rest of these cards on the opposite side. Inside the box, you're going to find 8 of these creatures. I believe they're Oggins, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they're certainly creepy looking. These little ones are called Diclion, I believe, anyway. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing, again, all these things correctly, but that thing's very creepy. A little alien worm. Here's a look at what an alien handler looks like. That's a pretty cool miniature. I like that quite a bit. There was 4 of that last one. There's 4 of these. These are the Vril Acolytes. They look pretty impressive too. There are 2 Elite Uber Soldatens in the box. These guys are pretty awesome too, holding their epic looking gun as well as also holding a gigantic blade in their hands. Detail is fantastic on these ones. Definitely all match. They all look very uniform together. That's one thing I really like, is you're not seeing any variation of the sculpt quality across them all, which is nice. This is Hugo Hander. He is definitely not one to be messed with. He's got multiple hands going on there, so he'll mess you up pretty good. He's a pretty cool sculpt as well. There's only one of these inside the box, and you're probably thankful for that because it's probably looking like it's going to mess you up pretty good. The base is beautiful. It's very, very creepy. Definitely a creature that looks like it kind of morphed from those smaller ones that we saw earlier on. Don't want to mess around with this thing. Now this is cool. There's a couple of these in the box. These are the Vril Cannon Team, which is actually comprised of 2 individuals there, so that's kind of cool. The gun is absolutely massive, and it has a really big base. This one is apparently called the Oggenmutter, if I'm pronouncing that one right too, and again, this thing is pretty weird looking and also very awesome. It kind of goes right off the base. There's a lot of detail in it, and it certainly is creepy. Now this is a nice addition to the expansion, having an actual portal to represent a portal. That makes sense, right? But again, it looks really good and will definitely add to the immersion level of specific scenarios in this box that have to do with portals, which there are. So that's really cool to see full-on miniature for that one. People will be really creative with this one and likely somehow fill in the middle to make it look that much cooler. This miniature is pretty aggressive here. This individual's not having the best day ever, has somehow morphed into some hybrid of human and alien. It's really creepy looking, something you probably don't want to run into. And last but certainly not least, another massive miniature here. This is the Shrieker, I believe. And this thing is really big and has a lot of detail, especially on its back. The front is more so armor plating. It looks like pretty much nothing could get through this thing. But if you take a look at the back of it, oh my goodness, the detail here is crazy. All the different rivets and notches and just all the little edges all pronounced look so, so good. Again, if you were just doing something as simple as dry brushing here, you could bring this thing to life on a whole other level. But if you are going to go ahead and detail paint every single little piece of this thing, you could make this thing really vibrant on the table and certainly scary looking. And that's going to conclude all of the unboxing for Reichbusters Projekt Vril from Mythic Games. Thank you guys so much for watching this series of unboxings, ending with the 4th video here for Not of This Earth. Really hope this gives you a real good in-depth look at all 4 of the major boxes for the game, as well as a couple of the smaller things like the 3D doors, what we did in the original video, and the promo character Sergeant Sally. Overall, it looks like a great production, and I can't wait to give this a try on the table and see how it plays solo. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.